Welcome to Ghoulish Gab. Always spooky, always under 7 minutes. August is guest month. I am here with Professor Tom Frichek, who has selected this week's topic. I'm going to let him introduce the topic and start that off for us this week.
Thanks so much, Corey. Hey, everybody. Okay, topic for today is 4 reasons why you should watch old horror movies. And I guess for the purposes of this discussion, and what, anything before 1980 is old? What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, we're generally going pre-80s for sure.
Right on.
So what is one of your 4 reasons? Go ahead and start us off.
Right on. Okay, number one is that horror's greatest hits. So, cool thing about the passage of time is we forget all the forgettable stuff. We forget all the junk, and what we're left with is things like Night of the Living Dead, things like Carnival of Souls that just they have survived because they continue to prove their timelessness.
Absolutely. And that kind of ties in with one of my reasons here is that a lot of people look at 80s horror as kind of the blueprint of horror going
Oh,
forward, but everything before that was the archetype that in order for that blueprint to exist, you had to have, the 50s, The Fly, The Blob, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, going into the 60s, Night of the Living Dead, Rosemary's Baby, Psycho, all the way through the 70s, Halloween, Black Christmas, The Exorcist. Those things laid the archetype for the blueprint that a lot of people look at from the 80s going forward. And I think in order to have a bigger respect for even the stuff from the 80s, you have to dig deeper before that.
100%. Yeah, if you're into slashers, you gotta start with Psycho. You you have to. Like that's the law. Um, and yeah, so if you think that uh Day the 13th started a lot of the slasher tropes, then you need to watch Halloween. If you think Halloween started all of them, then Black Christmas, and like I said, you go back all the way back to Psycho, which is the primordial slash.
All right. What's another one of your reasons?
You named one of mine, and that's just that these movies existed before tropes or they invented those tropes.
Yeah.
Every monster is King Kong, or now I guess with like Jaws, Octopus, giant monkey, just a Jaws movie. So yeah, all that's my number two is that if you like to see movies were like before the tropes, so sometimes you an old movie, you have no idea who's gonna live to the end because it's before the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta.
wonderful.
So, yeah,
So
what's your next one?
another simple reason for me is just Universal monster movies and Hammer horror movies. And if you've gone to the 80s and you're not going before that, you have to go back to Universal and Hammer to all of the various versions of Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, the Mummy, Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the creature from the Black Lagoon. You have to go to that well. You just at some point in being a horror fan, you have to go back that far if you haven't been there already.
Oh yeah, yep. It's maybe characteristics, or I learn about I feel. Uh, Universal monsters. You know, if you watch all of like the first of the franchise, the first Dracula, the first Mummy, first Invisible Man, they're all good, and then you can go a little deeper if you want. But like, yeah, and with Hammer. Oh man, I didn't know about Hammer until I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Hammer, some of those movies replaced Universal movies. Like Cushing is Dr. Frankenstein for me,
Yeah,
forever
oh
be.
yeah, that's totally fair. Absolutely. What's another reason that you got there?
emptiness factor. Watching something that, whether they were trying to or not, go over the top by today, that it just makes your jaw drop. If you're with your friends now, um, you gotta Bride of Frankenstein. It's just a perfect movie. Won't scare you, but it's got Boris Karloff, Esther Pretorius, who is the funniest mess. Uh, the Reanimator, there that they mentioned, it's because Holmes is doing his version of that weird mad scientist. That goes all the way back to the 30s. You gotta see Brad Price movies and old Peter Cushing movies for the camp value.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of ties in with one of my other reasons too, was just the players. I mean, Vincent Price, Boris Karloff, Lugosi, Hitchcock, Karen Black, Carolyn Monroe, all these people. I mean, just the people involved.
Caroline Monroe in there. You are a hand.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much there.
Monroe, a
Well, we
vampire movies.
we just hit our 7 minutes and we didn't really get to
Oh,
fully go through everything. But if you're watching this in the comments, give us some of the reasons why you appreciate old horror movies and let us know what you thought of the reasons why we do. And give some applause to our guest for August this week, Mr. Professor Tom Frichek. Thank you.